Cash flow per month, net cash flow, we're probably looking at just over £1,000, maybe 1,200, depending on the time of year. But if we sort of the grand mark, then we're really happy. Hey guys, I'm Ben, and today we're in Wakefield at our latest rent-to-serviced accommodation deal. It's a wonderful 3-bed, 1.5 bath cottage here in this beautiful surroundings next to the canal. I'm really excited to show you around, so come on in, let's take a look. Right guys, so we walk through the front door and the first room we come to is this wonderful spacious kitchen. We've got a lovely cooker and hob there. We've got the kettle toaster, a coffee machine, our complimentary tea and coffees there. We've got a lovely fridge freezer, and then we've got this wonderful dining table and chairs, and complete with Versace wallpaper. How bougie is that? Yep, so we come into this really nice spacious living room. I absolutely love it in here. We've got 2 wonderful, comfortable sofas, this fantastic log burning stove, which due to recent fire regulation changes, we've actually just made it for decorational purposes. And we've got a smart TV, we've got Netflix, we've got the Wi-Fi router behind there. Back behind the camera over there, we've got the understairs cupboard, which is locked off to guests. That's our SA cupboard, it's just where we store everything. So cleaners and us have access to that, but guests don't. So we come out here into the hallway. So this back door actually leads to the rear garden, and this is a 1.5 bath property, and this is our 0.5 bath in here. So we've got just a downstairs toilet with a sink. It's also where the boiler is. As you can see, the boiler is nice, new, modern, something very, very important that you need to look at when you're doing viewings. Always make sure that it's a decent boiler in, because if you don't, no one will tell you. We'll come to the upstairs. Now I am really excited to show you around the upstairs of this property. I absolutely love it. So first of all, we're going to go into this bedroom. We've got a lovely king size bed here, really comfortable. It's a lovely light, airy, homely bedroom. And to top it all off, you look out the window and you've got beautiful views over the canals. You can lay in bed and watch the ducks swim by, the boats go by if you like. And yeah, it's wonderful. What more can I say? Yep, I'll bring you into bedroom 2. So in this room, we've got a really versatile cabin bed. This can be a single or a double, depending what your accommodation needs are. If you use it as a single, we've got storage under there, as well as the wardrobes and the drawers. Guests love a lot of storage, especially if they're here for a long time. And the views from this window go over the back garden, which is really beautiful, really peaceful, and just wonderful. What more would you want? Yep, and this brings us to the master room. Again, we've got a really wonderful, comfortable king size bed here. We've got the wardrobe storage, mirror as always. Lovely, simple, straightforward bedside tables with lamps, and again, your views out the window are of the canal. Absolutely wonderful. Yeah, so the guaranteed rent on this per calendar month is £1,600 to the landlord. At 50% occupancy, it breaks even, or there and thereabouts. So far, the occupancy rate has been at around 70%, but we've only had it for a month, so we're hoping that will be that'll improve in time. Obviously, when the property, the listing gets more traction, more feedback, etc. And because of the location, there's definitely the chance that this is a seasonal property. It's very remote and in a really nice sort of countryside area, so the summer months will be jam-packed. The nightly rate at the lowest, which is our sort of contractor rate during the week, is at about 130 a night. But that can shoot right up to anywhere above 200 a night on the weekends. We use Price Labs as well, so Price Labs does all that work for us. But yeah, roughly about 200 a night in the summer months, and on the weekends. Cash flow per month, net cash flow, we're probably looking at just over £1,000, maybe 1,200, depending on the time of year. But if we sort of the grand mark, then we're really happy. Yeah, so with this deal, I basically just contacted the landlord and said, do you want to do another rent to rent? He said, yeah, cool. We worked with him on another deal and he really likes what we do. So I came on the viewing, had a good look round, we sat and had a chat, and he told me what he wanted per calendar month rent. Now, before I'd come on the viewing, I already knew what our bottom figure for the rent was. And so I went into the viewing in a position, knowing where to position myself. So he said he wanted 1,800, and we couldn't go to that, it wasn't going to work. So I offered him 1,600 for 5 years with a 3-year break for the landlord, a 3-year break clause. And he said he'd go away and talk to his wife, who's his business partner as well. He said he didn't think she'd be too happy about it and it might take some convincing. I says, well, you know, we work on you with the other deal, and you know what a good job we do, and we look after the place, and it's out of your hair for the next 5 years, but you still keep getting the nice £1,600 a month guaranteed rent. Yeah, so he went away and spoke to his wife. He rung me the next day. He says, yeah, I'm happy to go for 1,600. I've managed to talk the wife around it, which was good. Then it came down to negotiating the terms of the contract, and we went through that pretty smoothly because it was very similar terms to the other deal, apart from the damage deposit. Now, we hadn't budgeted for a damage deposit and we couldn't afford one, and he was adamant that he wanted a damage deposit from us. So I had to really sit down with him and say, look, you know, damage to the property is covered in our rent-to-rent agreement, the management agreement. If we damage the property, if our guests damage the property, we're liable for it. When you get an AST with a tenant, that's not the case, hence why you take a damage deposit. So it's unnecessary to take a damage deposit because our agreement covers you against damage anyway. And you already work with us, you know what we do. We've done a lot of maintenance and repair work on the other property when it's needed it, and he's well aware of that. So he ummed and ahed for quite a while, and then a couple of days later he dropped me a text and he said, yeah, he says, forget the damage deposit, let's do it. So that was really good. We then met him at the property and came and got the keys. And what was even more amazing about this, you know, I managed to negotiate out the damage deposit by being honest with him and telling him that we couldn't afford it. And so, as a goodwill gesture, he actually left pretty much everything here for us. All the ornaments, all the cutlery, pots, pans and everything in the kitchen. Everything was left for us because he said, look, you guys are great. I'm just going to leave everything. I don't need it. And yeah, that's really good. That's really amazing. And it shows we've built a really good relationship with this landlord over the past 8 months or so that we've been working with him. So things you can take away from that is that when you're going into deals and negotiating, you want to, first of all, really focus on building relationships with any landlord that you do a deal with. It's incredibly important and it will pay you massively down the road. Many landlords, even some accidental landlords, do have more than one property, and once you've got a deal with them, you build good rapport with them, you stay in touch with them, you speak to them maybe weekly, bi-weekly or monthly, just have a catch up, very informal, how's the family, how's the wife, that kind of thing, how's business, and they trust you and they see you doing a good job, and particularly with SA, all they have to do is jump on Airbnb and take a look at your listing and take a look at your reviews. That's a way that I know that they can keep an eye on, the property. So just doing a good job and building a good relationship, with any landlord you work with is important. And then obviously when negotiating, you know, try and negotiate your way out of things by adding value when you're countering. You know, like I say, with the damage deposit, we negotiated out of that through being honest. But, you know, negotiating, if you want to negotiate the rent down, just, you know, use value. Say, look, yeah, we're asking, we can't afford that. This is what we're offering, but we're also offering you free maintenance, a free cosmetic refurb if it needs it, no voids for 5 years, and, you know, peace of mind for you. So, yeah.